Hello and welcome to Digital General's Field of Glory 2 playthrough of the Belisarius campaign. We're now on to stage 10. We managed to win the previous battle in versus the Persians. We were back in the east, and it was actually quite a satisfying grand battle with kind of a fresh army. Alright, but that was the past, now is the present. It is 552 AD, and returning to Italy in 554, you have found the situation very different from when you left. The Goths had elected a new king, Totila, in 541, and proceeded to inflict several defeats on the Byzantine forces left to hold Italy. Starved of resources by the emperor, possibly as a result of the economic damage caused by the Great Plague of 540 to 541, which killed a quarter of the empire's population, you were unable to make progress and were recalled by the emperor again in 549. After all your efforts, it must have been galling to see overall command being handed over to your rival, the eunuch Narses, especially as he seems to have been granted the vital resources that you were denied. It fell to Narses, however, to defeat Totila in open battle. So I guess this means the next game is actually not as Belisarius, but as Narses. So that's kind of interesting, and it is interesting too that a couple of years of campaigning has been reduced to basically we're unsuccessful and we don't get to play it. But that's okay. Let's see if we can finish up the campaign as Narses in Italy, and then I guess we have a couple more battles back probably in the east, and that should be it. Okay, good. Let's go and see what this looks like. Okay, so Byzantine versus Ostrogothic. So the usual rules. Nothing new here, and if I look at it, okay, it's actually I've got quite a lot of points, and looks like I can basically build my army however I wish, so that's kind of cool. Let's see what kind of a terrain do we have. We've got lots of open grounds with hill, open ground, and then hill. Okay, right, so there's a bit of a slope coming up here, a bunch of forests, and a bunch of rough ground. Okay, that's quite the mountainous and hilly terrain, so infantry actually should do pretty well here against cavalry. As the Ostrogoths, I'm assuming they'll bring in a ton of their superior lancers, so I'm basically thinking I should do the same and just max out my lancers too. These guys are really good. And I get the Byzantine lancers and armored horse archers. So the armored horse archers actually can do a pretty good number on the Ostrogoths because they don't have a good counter to them, and unlike the Persians, which just bring their own ton of them. But I will have a nice advantage with kind of heavy horse archers. Okay, now we need a nice solid infantry corps. So, oh, I can actually feel the dismounted. So that's undrilled heavy foot. They're superior, and then undrilled heavy foot, unmaneuverable but superior, or the legionnaires, which are heavy foot, average. Yeah, these guys are spear swordsmen, and these guys are offensive spearmen. Oh, interesting. Bunch of this irregular foot that's medium. I'm actually thinking if I might want to take some of these offensive spearmen. Armored versus protected. I think protected is fine. I'm going to take 2 of them, and then I'll take a bunch of the legionnaires, because I do like my standard fantastic legionnaires. Then the Limitanae, which actually do pretty well. Even though they're not super good, they do a decent job. Archers, yeah, I do want them. I'm not going to take the heavy foot archers because they always get swamped. They're just not fast enough, and the cavalry just runs them down. Like especially the Ostrogoths, so I'm gonna skip on those. But I do like my little skirmishers. I think they are both fun to use, and they do a decent job. And I also definitely want my horse archers. Now I can't afford them, so why don't I take away one of these guys? And take away one of the Libetini as well. Yeah, there we go. I want a little bit more of the skirmishing horse archers. I just enjoy using them. They're fast. They shoot well, and they're actually very good skirmishing with against the heavy cav. Okay, I think I like this army, so let's accept that, and let's deploy them. Is this my commander-in-chief? No. Where's my commander? Sub-general Narcissus. There you go. That's the commander-in-chief. All right, so I'll do the same thing I did with Belisarius. I'll give him actually a decent amount of troops. All right, they're already there. And I've got two commanders here on the horse, and then I've got all these horse archers. So that's okay. Let's just split them into two wings. I want to keep my horse archers together because they actually are the most useful when they're in one group that can concentrate fire. They do a lot better if they can shoot up the same enemy as those already being shot. Okay, and why don't I attach these skirmishers to this cavalry brigade? Oh, there's another horse archer. Cool. Yeah, let's make this my kind of heavy horse with some supporting lancers. This is my lancer swing with a couple of skirmishers. Alright, and then infantry all belongs to this general, which I think you do, except for the skirmishers here. Yeah, okay, let's attach them. Alright, so Narcissus gets his bodyguard, the General Centunius Christobolus gets some heavy horse with horse archers. Isidorus Aliatis gets all of the infantry, and Inacus Tsimatsas gets the lancers here and a couple of skirmishers. And deployment-wise, I mean, if I can get him to charge me again, that'll be ideal. I don't know if I can. But we'll see. So how far can I push my infantry? Pretty far. Let's see what that looks like. So this is the Lancers and my Libetini. Alright, and then more Legionnaires. Okay, the skirmishers can skirmish up ahead. Okay, where can I deploy them? That makes sense. A bunch of rough ground here, that's silly. There's a bit of an open plain here that I might be able to form up a bit of a defense on the hill. Especially if I move up. Get myself out of the rough terrain. It's interesting. I could also form up a defense here. This is a pretty nice area, except there's some rough ground here. but I can maybe avoid it and basically do a kind of defensive formation here, depending what the enemy does with his horses, but this is a nice place to hold it, so let's maybe aim for that. And we're going to try to avoid the woods for now. Yeah, I mean, the way this works, I don't actually need to form a coherent line. I can have these little groups that can support each other. That's sufficient. So I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, so I've got, except the general, I need to be much more central. Yeah, so I've got these noble lancers that can anchor the corners, the offensive spears, and this infantry can, yeah, there we go. That's pretty decent, and I think I'm going to need to focus my cavalry. Like if there's one thing that I've seen with how Ostrogoths tend to deploy is that they do focus their cavalry. So if I split my forces into two, I'll probably be outnumbered. So what if I want to go on this side? Yeah, let's see if I can swing around this side. There's a bit more space here. This is a stream, so it should be passable. Then here, and here I can set up a nice defensive kind of formation and hold off whatever comes and give my cavalry a chance to swing around. So let's do that. And I'm not too worried about being in the rough ground here because I'm just going to ride out of it right away. This is fine. And yeah, actually I'm going to swing, change up these two formations because I want my archers up front. There we go. Archers up front. And yeah, so I've got my two waves of cavalry. Belisarius can, or not Belisarius, Narcissus can get in here and see kind of what happens. He can reinforce. Okay, I think this is a decent setup. Let's just take a look at our army from the opponent's point of view with all the red terrifying standards. Oh, this is a very Byzantine looking standard. Huh, interesting. Yeah, so cool. We've got the nomad horse archers here, our heavy armored horse archers, which can do a lot of damage when there's like 4 of them and they can just focus fire on something. Lancers to back them up, more lancers to back them up, and general's bodyguard to see where he needs to go. Some skirmishers, really lightly armored, and our heavy dismounted noble lancers, which can be offensive spear. That's good. They can anchor my infantry block here and my second infantry block here, and we'll see where my opponent wants to deploy. But this is looking pretty good. I'm liking this. Okay. Let's see what comes at us. And okay, he actually split his cavalry, so that's good. Because I can have them waste time with my infantry, and I can focus my massed cavalry on his left flank, or sorry, my left flank, his right flank. So let's see what he brought in. So that's the standard setup, right? Noble horse, lancer, superior, armored, Lancer swordsmen, so these guys are really bad news. As always, I need to be careful and basically outnumber them or surround them. These archers are pretty decent, so I just need to make sure that they don't swarm me or focus fire on me. And more lancers and some more archers. Okay, so pretty much the standard army. This will be fun. Okay, see you next time.